Hey everybody, welcome to my Suburban Oasis. Today we're just going to do some more random garden tasks. We're going to be looking for branches that may be dead from last year, taking care of those, as well as doing a little bit of dividing and transplanting. If you're enjoying my channel, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and even hit that notification bell if you'd like to get notified anytime a new video comes out. Alright, well let's get started. So you may have watched one of my other videos where I rescued some baby hellebores. I've noticed that there are some still here that are in places that I don't really want them. So I'm going to snag some of those and I'm going to take them out to the way back garden. I might not plant them today, but I definitely want to grab them today. So you can see I have some hostas that are coming up and some baby hellebores in here, and I really don't want the hellebores to come up in my hostas. So I'm just going to pull back the mulch a little bit, then we'll dig them out. I'm also pretty excited because this last year must have been a really good year for seedlings, not only because I got a ton of these hellebores, but also because I have some baby Japanese maples. Take like a right example right here. You know, if you can see this seedling, this is a baby Japanese maple. There's 3 other ones back here and another one over there. So I am hoping some of those live. The thing about hellebores is they have really strong root system. Oh, you can see there's another baby Japanese maple right here. This one has bigger leaves on it. So it makes hellebores are really tough plants because of the fact that they have such nice root systems on them. But that's also what can make them a very difficult plant to get out from an area that is already grown up. And I'm doing this one-handed today because I have a gimp hand still from my bee bite, so it's really a bit swollen and hard to use. So it might take me a little longer than normal. You could see. Some of these have good roots and some of them do not. No big deal. Even if I get a couple of them out of here, that's fine. And then I'm just going to pull up the rest of the dirt and make sure that none of the roots regrow. Okay, all set. Those are potted up and ready to go. We'll leave this in this. I'm just using dirt right now from the area that I talked about in my last video, where we had to dig out an area for the base for our pool heater. So there's a lot of soil left over from that, but it's great because I can reuse it in the yard. Alright, so I have some salvias in this bed, a couple of May Night Salvias. This one here is a May Night Salvia. This one here is a May Night Salvia, and they're very large, so I want to get a little bit more of that to put into the bed down at the end, the new bed, because I really like to make sure that there are plants in place because it helps discourage weeds or other things from coming into where it's bare ground. Eventually I might plant something else, but again, I like to fill in. I'm just going to take a chunk right off the back. Some people will dig up a whole plant and then chop it into pieces, which I have done before as well. But I find this to be a really effective way when I don't want to truly disturb the plant as it's growing. This way I can get a piece off of it, not disturb the plant that is growing. And hopefully maintain that bloom cycle, because they are putting on buds right now. Okay, so you'll see now I'm just getting a chunk off the back here. And all I'm going to do is grab a little scoop of soil, fill in behind. And then cover back up with mulch. Simple as that. So even though there's a little bit of a cutout in the back, you won't notice from the front, and that will flush out again really soon because these are very vigorous growers. I had done similar work on this plant last year, and you can see it's already full and bushy again. So now that it's out though, I am going to break it into 2 pieces. See how this goes. I think I need to use the shovel since my hand's decrepit here. There we go. Very easy to separate into 2. I could make this into just about as many pieces as I wanted to, but I like to keep it, I want to keep it fairly robust so you can see its blooms. All right, let's go plant this in the new bed. Okay, so what I did in the front is I have a May Night Salvia right there, and then in the center and one down there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up one here so that you can see both of them, and that will help make them seem a little bit more thick and lush, even though they're small plants. And the same down here, I'm going to put one behind this one right here. And if you've seen me work in this bed before, you know what I do is I dig out some of the mulch and then plant my plant right into it and add a little bit of soil with it. These are really nice perennial. May Night Salvias are probably hardy down to like zone 4. You can get them to bloom several times. Last year was an amazing year for my May Night Salvias. I think they bloomed 3 times. After they bloom, if you cut them back, then they will flush back out, give you another bloom. And I was able to cut them back at least 2 times last year and get another bloom. So that was pretty awesome. Another benefit to having this soil from my own yard to work with is that it's already full of some of the micronutrients and some of the very small organisms that are in our natural soil here that live very well, so that's just going to help. It was supposed to rain today, but now I'm not so sure it's going to rain very well. So after I get these in, I'm definitely going to give them a little bit of water before we move on to our next task. All right, let's come down here and do the other one. Then I think after I'm done planting this, I'm going to tidy up this bush a little bit with some of the new leaves on that boxwood. Got harmed by a freeze and they died back. which is no big deal, but they look a little bit unsightly, so I just want to clean it up and make it look a little nicer. Okay, let's get these watered in and then we'll move on to the cleaning up the bush. It's important when you water your plants that you water around the base. Try not to get too much on the leaves. It just helps prevent any funguses or splashbacks, so it's nice to have a watering wand. Normally when I trim boxwood, I like to use shears, but since this is such minor damage, I'm just going to use these little snippers that I have. They're just scissors from Fiskars, but they do work better than like bypass secateurs for this work. And I'm going to wait till some more of this new growth hardens off and it gets warmer to clip it back some more, but I just want to get a little bit of this off so that I don't see the white, because it kind of bugs me when I look at this bush. And then I'll do shaping later, but the other one didn't get quite as much damage because I think it didn't have quite as much new growth. Eventually this stuff will get a little bit drier, the white stuff, and it will be really easy to either fall off or clip off. Alright, well hopefully that looks just a little bit better. Good, not trying to make it perfect right now, just trying to make it look a little bit prettier. Alright, looks better than it did. And we're going to head over to the Japanese maple now, because I noticed there was a couple of branches on there that weren't doing so good. Okay, so there's a couple branches on this tree that aren't looking so great. This one has some leaves on it. Then out there, I don't know, I can't tell. I was going to clip it off, but I think now that I look at them, I'm going to give it just a little bit more time to see if maybe this branch had leafed out earlier than the other ones and got freeze damage and is trying to grow back, or if it's something internal, because sometimes it's hard to tell whether it's a disease or something nature related until you give it some time. So rather than clip this one off, I'm going to leave for now. Okay, we're in my front shade border again, and I've noticed that these hellebores look like they're ready to be trimmed up from the outside here, so I'm going to take off some of the old leaves. I just go down to the base of the leaf and clip it off. That way it just gets a little more tidy, and Give some space for these nice new fresh leaves to grow in. If you're not sure if the leaves on your plant are old or not, it doesn't matter. It's okay to leave them. And you can tell when they start dying back more, and it's okay to cut them later. So if you're not sure, just leave it alone for a little bit. Use the power of observation in your garden to be able to tell what to do next. So you can see these flowers have also gone to seed, and I'm just going to clip those back all the way to the bottom too. And then all of this is fresh foliage that came up this year. And so I encourage you to get out in your garden, walk around in it. I swear sometimes the neighbors probably think I'm crazy because I just walk around staring at my plants. But they're pretty. And not only are they pretty, but it'll tell you something about how your garden changes over time. Will allow you to get familiar with your plant's growth habits, and you'll be able to tell more quickly whether there is some type of disease or something going on with your plant that's not normal. And what they say about an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure is absolutely true in the garden. So yeah, if you don't know, wait until your leaves look like this and you'll know for sure that they're the old ones. Hard to do this without using my other hand. Another trick to telling if a leaf is old or new on the hellebores is if they're standing upright or if they're laying flat down. This way the hellebore can put all of its energy into its new leaves and developing its next year's blooms. I think that looks pretty good. Yep. Well, you guys, I have too many garden tasks and maintenance chores to share with you in just one video, so we're going to do a part 2. I'm showing you a little bit of my garden bed right here that I planted a couple of boxwoods in that I really felt like this bed needed more structure because everything was down to the ground at the end of the year. And it's just nice to have things in every bed that are up above the ground all through the seasons. So I hope you enjoyed my video today and learned a little bit about trimming boxwoods, how to transplant some of these salvias around your yard and divide them. It's great to use plants around the yard because they're free. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know I enjoyed taking you around the yard with me. See you for next time, part 2. Bye!